Welcome back to another episode of the Just Pivot podcast. We're so happy that you're here. I'm your host, Dr. Sai, and I'm here with an amazing co host. Please tell us about yourself today.
Oh, my name is Taiwo Magical Middleman. I'm also a healthcare practitioner, and I'm also a in public health field. And it's
Wonderful.
good to see.
Yeah, good to see you too. And so today we're having an amazing conversation. Our talk today are daily habits that reduce stress. And so, Taiwo, as you know, you're in the healthcare profession. You are someone that isn't also in the public health field. We're talking about how stress in maybe the mind, the body, it's our response to the demands, the pressure, the changes, or the threats that are coming at us daily. And so this sometimes comes when we're navigating through these circumstances, it requires more energy or resources or coping than the capacity that we have. And capacity is major because people don't realize this, but stress is not always negative. When we talk about stress, we always hear stress from a negative connotation, but in reality, they're good stressors. They're good things that we stress about. For example, what are some good things that you stressed about that is maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing? What are some good stressors?
Um, in our daily routine, um, so especially mine, for example, my daily routine require that I get up and do certain things for me, for the children, for the house in general. That they are good stressor. It's something that needs to be done, has to be done, regardless of how stressful we are. It is stressful to get up every day to try to get the kids to school, go to work at the same time trying to take care of yourself. So they are a good stressor, but it has to be done. But how we get them done might make it a little bit relief from stress, but I try to manage my time and incorporate all these good stressor, and at the same time, still create that same time to manage and care for myself at the same time.
Absolutely. I would say a stressor that I would consider good, picking out clothes to go out on the weekend with some friends for brunch.
Yeah.
That's a stressor that I don't mind having. One, I'm grateful to have clothes to choose from, right? Number two, I'm glad to have a community of friends and even family that I can go out to share a meal with and to catch up. And so those are things that we would consider as good stressors. But the kind of stress that we're talking about today are the other side, the things that cause us distress, right? And so this is something that could look like causing us to have a hard time to sleep, or we're feeling overwhelmed, we're irritable. We can feel it in our chest. We change our appetite. We're constantly feeling fatigued. And so these are stressors that may be at the result where, our resources are depleted, where we talked about it earlier, we have exceeded our capacity to manage the things that are on our plate. And so, what is one habit or practice that you do in your everyday life that just makes sense to keep your capacity balanced or to keep you in check? What's one habit or practice that you do every day that makes sense for you?
Um, I try to make it an habit, even though I can see it as something that is negotiable, but I try to make it like it has to be done because at the end of the day, it's for my own benefit. Um, One of the things that I do every day is I try to maybe try to put few things together in the house. I don't wait till one day to try to pack up everything to try to do at the same time. I might want to, let's say, sometimes weekly I do my laundry. Sometimes I try to clean the house, but I try every day to clean the house a little bit at a time. So for me, it don't pile up and that I have to. try to create a whole day or try to hire somebody to do this and do that, because I try to manage and do it on daily basis. I might want to try to straighten up the closet today, or try to straighten up my dresser tomorrow. I mean, little bit of things that can be piled up and become burden that you really have to make it like, hey, I need the whole day to try to fix this house, put things together. So I try to, is it, even though is it part of care for yourself, because even I go out there and I don't do it, nobody's going to know, but I have to make it a practice to do for me, because it benefit me and save my time at the same time.
Absolutely. And I love what you said there. For me, a daily habit that just makes sense is, believe it or not, just my hygiene routine. You know, just that's self-care to me. And then the second thing is just starting the morning off with gratitude, thanking God for another day of life, or, you know, doing some kind of meditative practice. And those two things I just can't see myself doing without, because every day I'm talking before somebody and I gotta, you know, show up and look like don't look like what I'm going through. Is that what they say? You can't look like what you're going through. So make sure you take care of yourself so that, you know, you look presentable. And so that just helps me to set my day up to let me know that, one, I'm stepping into purpose. I don't have to do my work. I get to do my work. Like, I find it a privilege to go to work. I find it a privilege to serve clients and to serve the community. I find it a privilege to be in my calling, right? Where it's not just a job, but I feel like the work that I do is such a calling. And so knowing that I'm grateful, and knowing that I brushed my teeth, gotten, you know, all of my health stuff taken care of, and my routines for hygiene, it just sets my day up, you know, really right. And so the reason why we do it daily, like, because we don't want to do it monthly, we wanted to make it a practice, because guess what? When we have daily habits, and this is a nugget that I'm going to give to you all, daily habits mean we've created a lifestyle. It's not just something that we're doing on a random or on a whim, or it allows us just to do it every now and then. But when we're doing daily habits, guess what? It means that every day it helps us to integrate within our nervous system a memory network of waking up in the morning to say good morning to our loved one, waking up in the morning to practice gratitude, waking up in the morning to brush our teeth or to comb our hair and to, you know, get ourselves ready for the day. Because here's the nugget: prevention is easier than repair. Can I just say that? Prevention is easier than repair. And it's easier to lower stress consistently than to wait until we are overwhelmed and burned out or emotionally flooded. In small daily tasks, they act like maintenance, not just we're trying to respond to a 5-alarm fire. What do you say?
I think it does make sense, because when we prevent something from happening, even though it's something that we do for ourselves that we don't see it as a big deal, if we don't, the day we don't do it, that's where we can tell, oh my God, that little thing I just do like that, today I didn't get to do it, then I'm getting this, I'm getting that, I have to create this. So when we prevent such things, it look like we didn't do anything. But when we don't do it is when we actually feel it, like, oh my gosh, I did not put those clothes away. The next 3 days, everything just pile up. Oh Lord, now I have to set up a day. So I take those things I see as pleasure from doing it for myself, even though it's something I don't want to do, but I just make myself do it, because I'm looking like the other side effect, other side, like, then if I don't do it, then I may need the whole day to call out to try to fix this and fix that. And that day assignment of daily routine, we also had to it. So it make it look like something really big, huge I have to do. So I kind of take pleasure in doing those little things that we don't see once we put our clothes on and go out there. I think it's worth doing it in a little piece at a time
Right.
than waiting for it to accumulate to try to catch up with it.
Right. And oftentimes, as high achieving women, it's so
Yes.
easy to put it on the back burner and say, I'll get to it. Like, for example, there'll be seasons where I have good intentions of going to work out, to participate in some form of movement. And then I look at my schedule and I'll say, how am I going to fit this in my day? And there are two things that I want to drop within this conversation, Taiwo. The first thing is, I said it earlier, it's when we are engaged in repetitive like behaviors and processes and lifestyles, it's one of those things that our nervous system, it feeds off of repetition, right? It begins to learn off of patterns, because the patterns that we have, it becomes a habit. The habit becomes the lifestyle becomes the way that we show up. And so if we have this pattern of reacting to crisis, or everything is a 5-alarm fire, guess what? Like, that's the world and lens that our nervous system is being built on. But if we're telling our nervous system that we want to embrace a soft life and we want to continue to respond and not react, then we begin to integrate small compounding moments in our day where we can begin to say, in the morning, at the first 5 minutes when we wake up, I'll drink my 16-ounce glass of water. I'll move into my gratitude. I'll start to go into my hygiene practices. Those are 5-minute increments. That's 15 minutes right there. And so when we're doing small compound movements and habits, then over time, it creates meaningful change in our mood, in our energy, and also in our resilience. And so daily stress doesn't become chronic, where we ignore it all day and we just put it on our I'll do it later list, or I'll get to it when I can, or I'll save it for the weekend. But it's now honoring our body and saying, I can do it today. It only takes 5 minutes to maybe do that journal thought. It only takes 5 minutes to say that prayer. It only takes 5 minutes to, write that to-do list for what I need to do today. And the daily habits, they will interrupt the buildup of I'll get to it later. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You're on mute. I think you're on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been talking. I didn't know I was muted.
Okay.
I think avoiding to let things pile up, make it easier for us to get done, to get it done a little piece at a time, like I said earlier. Much more better for me, and allow me to get things done quicker. And in the long run, at the end of the week, I have accomplished a lot because I get to do it a little piece as I go.
Yeah. I love that. I love how when we do it little bit by little bit, consistency helps us to build trust within ourselves, that when we're carrying the weight of the world, when we're carrying the responsibilities of work, you're a mom, you're a wife, and there's so many different things that I have that I'm shouldering. And so when we adapt this mindset, it helps us to kind of say no. That's boundaries. It helps us to believe that we belong where we are. That's confidence. It helps us to speak up even when society tells us to dim our voice. That's self-respect. And so when we're caring for ourselves, we're telling ourselves in an act of self-love, my well-being matters. It matters above just fitting in at work or the bottom line and the paycheck, but we're doing it each and every day. And so as we wrap this up, I wanted to know what's a habit that you would like to implement in your life this week that you can, start to do small, that it becomes a lifestyle. What's a habit that you want to implement in your life this week that you want to start small but allow it to become a lifestyle?
One more habit I want to start and heading on top of what I've been doing this week is trying to extend a little more time in the little bit of things I do every day that is that are temporarily is just for a short period of time. Like um adding maybe 10, 15 more to this time I take to put my school things together that I need to do to um, get myself to the end line. I will spend it 30 minutes a day before. I might want to extend it to 45 minutes. Um, and when I look at 15 minutes every day, I have been up more than a whole hour.
Right.
So putting that together for a whole month, I want to see how faster it get me there quicker than doing 30 minutes a day when I
Right.
start doing 45 minutes. Maybe something that can cost me 6 weeks, I could get it done in 4 weeks. So it's a new thing I want to try, but I hope it works.
It'll work. I believe it takes time to build up to the ultimate goal. And there's this saying that they say back in the day, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
And so if we think about our modern society, I think we try to build Rome in a day, and it's not practical because we have more tools and access to resources than many civilizations didn't really have to their fingertips. I mean, technology is a conversation all of its own, and how it has helped us to be more efficient and made us to be like ahead of so many games. And so just like you said, take it one thing at a time,
Hmm?
and practice makes better. Like every time you show up, it makes better. For me, I want to add on to a list. I was thinking about it. I like to scroll on social media, and I like to see people who go out to eat at different restaurants. I love that because I like to try new foods. Maybe, I need to scale back just a bit, but that's just one thing I like to do. And so it gets overwhelming to see that people are eating out in New York, they're in the DMV eating out, they're all across the country, all across the globe. And I thought to myself, man, I need to create a list, because it's one thing to pin it, but I need to create an active list so that when I visit these cities, it won't be like overwhelming to try to go back to the TikTok or the Instagram or the reel in order to find it. And I think that helps me to de-stress of, taking my focus off of work and whatever else I have going on. And it adds deposits into my self-care so that when I am planning that next trip, it's not birthed out of trying to hustle to look at all the things that I pinned and saved, but then it's this ready to go list. And it starts small. It starts with maybe my local city. There's a lot of creators that have gone different places. I've gone to those places, and I probably should do a follow-up of they were spot on. Like their recommendation was great. That's for another day. But the fact of the matter is, that's one little small habit that, and it's not like a hygiene habit, but it's more so like a leisurely habit that I can start to cultivate as I think about those domains of wellness that I can begin to integrate. Like maybe once a week I can do it. And so, Taiwo, as we sign off, what's one takeaway that you have from our talk today? What are you taking away? What are you hoping to continue to strive toward? What resonated with you?
I think one takeaway that I want to leave here for our listener is even we stay the way we do things, maybe a little change, a little adjustments, and still consistent in trying not to make make a deal whereby it take extra time or effort to get it done at once. Something little that take a little effort to get done. And with consistency, we're going to get it done.
Absolutely. I love that. For me, one of my takeaways is that our nervous system, it repeats the habits that we give it. It creates memory networks. And so the habits that are very like helpful, that's that's responding, that's the more that I want my nervous system to capture versus the reactive. I don't want my nervous system just creating a memory network of just reacting. Though I've had moments in my life where I have reacted, it's been a journey to create new neural networks in order to respond softly and respond intently based on now the habits that I want to begin to cultivate. And so this is an enlightening conversation that I hope any high achieving woman or man that they're listening in and saying, wow, like this is something that I want to see a shift in. And we invite you to do that today. And so if you like what you heard today, I want to invite you to like, to share, to subscribe to this channel so that you can get more self-care, whether it be tips for high achieving men or women, but also wellness, right? We're giving wellness nuggets so that you can continue to live wholeheartedly, live authentically, but then also live stress a little bit, not stressful, but a little bit of stress-free. All right. Well, thank you so much, Taiwo, for the conversation. I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Bye for now.